Okay, we were playing I'm awareness, but what? Anything? Awareness, but or I am self. She says, she says, I am awareness, but sometimes I'm unaware of the awareness. You see? At that time, what happens? Huh?
Just with the thoughts.
You're just with the thoughts, or what you might be implying is lost in thought, just lost, gone with the thoughts. You see? Now, when you are lost in the thought or gone with the thoughts, that means what attention is with the thoughts. Is it? Now, who is the witness of this happening? But even to say that when this happens, you forget about awareness, yes. But maybe you only forget about the concept of awareness. Okay, just give me 2 minutes to explain this. See, you say there are times where it's so clear I am awareness. There are other times I'm so caught up in my thoughts that awareness all forgotten, out the window. I'm Shweta and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. So even during that time, there is a witness of the play of Shweta.
When that comes, then I become aware that I am exposed in the
Yes, yes, but you're not saying that the rest of the time is a blank. You're saying that the rest of the time I am lost in my thought. Right? So even to see that I am lost in my thought needs awareness. You see? So this substratum is not changing actually. It is the play of consciousness, which is sometimes playing as if it is unaffected, it is just awareness, and sometimes playing as if it is Shweta. You see? But this substratum didn't go anywhere. You see? That is you. Whatever might be happening at the surface. You see? So the entire ocean is you, sometimes high tide, sometimes low tide, sometimes just serene. So as long as you keep identifying yourself with the surface, it might feel like the ups and downs are still happening. When you identify yourself as the witness of this ups and downs, whether it is up or down, in reality you don't change. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you had said, for example, that I'm awareness, and I have a feeling, or others tell me that there are times where I'm unawareness, but I have never witnessed that time. Is it? You're not saying that. You're saying I can see that I get lost in my thoughts, I get caught up in my identity, and then awareness seems to go for a toss or something, isn't it? But even this, you can only say because you are aware of these times. Now, whatever the play might be, see, I might say something which you might completely disagree with right now. I said this to you before also. But if I say something which makes you very angry, you see, then would it be that awareness went away, or just that the play, the outward play of anger coming and thoughts being believed, all of that might change, but at the core of it, your reality remains unchanged. So that itself gives us a lot of reassurance. Otherwise, it can feel like I'm on this wave. You see? And sometimes I'm so calm and serene and just awareness, unflappable. And sometimes I get so caught up in this identity. So I'm asking you to just step back from that layer of up and down. Don't judge yourself on that basis. Judge yourself on the basis of the witness, who witnesses both the ups and the downs. What happens to that one? It stays unchanging. Nothing is happening. So then, because how the mind operates is in this play of opposites. It says, this is this, then the opposite of that is this, and then you have to become completely like this, and then you can say that you're free. I'm not actually worried about what is happening at the surface level. Many of the sages actually used to exhibit a lot of anger, and they've even cursed. I've taken examples. They've even, been responsible for the deaths of thousands of beings in their seeming anger. Of course, in an overall grace. That's another satsang. But it is not the expression of all of this, the ups and downs of our human emotions or not, which is creating a benchmark about your reality.
Sometimes you know that when you are in that space and when you speak or whatever you have to do, it just feels very authentic to that space. Sometimes you know you're aware of it, but it doesn't feel like it's playing out from that authenticity.
Yes.
Now, when that happens, then suddenly there is a doubt that you are all over the place. You're not. So,
Yes. But the best news is always that in every moment, when you even able to check like this, and you have the space for this, what do you find yourself to be?
space.
This. So it's like the sun coming from the east or west thing. It is, we can have this idea that when I'm not looking, then maybe the sun comes from the west. But once you see that all of this is a movement of consciousness, which then we take on as if I'm personally responsible for how these things are turning out. Then we take on the idea of a limited entity who has a certain doership. So if you take on the responsibility of always being the personification of being, you see, it's too much burden for anyone to carry. You don't have to do that. You don't bother with it at all. I know it sounds strange. You come to satsang and I'm saying, don't make the effort to be authentic to that being that you're discovering. Let the world play out as it is playing, including this body mind functioning, and then you will see that automatically. And don't even make that a benchmark. If you want, I won't say it.
I don't see it.
Better.
I don't see it.
Because it becomes a benchmark.
Yes. I think I lived with it for something.
Yes.
For a while.
So it's not uncommon when we come into spirituality, we see all these beautiful masters, we have read all the stories, we have heard about them. We feel like yesterday I was fighting with this one about this minor thing. Is it? So who am I to be able to see? So we can create these ideas about ourselves, and then we can try to live from this place. And that effort itself sounds like a big stone to carry. See? To try and live the life of an enlightened one, or try and live a life of an awakened being, or even a nice person. It's a big pain sometimes. So everything that is meant to unfold in this life, you will find that the moment is already unfolding for us. You don't have to take on this project. Just laugh and play and cry and rave and rant if you want. It's okay. It's all good. This is what I meant when I said, get on my train. Then you don't have to worry about where you're going and whether and what you have to do in the train, whether you have to do some spiritual exercises every day. Nothing. You have to be a certain way to be entitled to first class compartment or something. Nothing. Everyone has a seat here. But you will struggle if you want to keep one leg in that train and one leg in this. One leg trying to be a nice person or a particular type of person, or trying to control the outcomes in this realm, or control anything at all in this realm. Then you will struggle. Because in the Guru train, you're leaving all of that behind. Not that you will miss out on life or something. It's just that you're leaving the attachment to it. You're leaving the guilt and the pride, the regret, the remorse, the resentment, the grievances, all these things you're leaving.
Sometimes when you the train. I feel like I have left my train. I don't know which train I'm going on. But then, since I have left my train, I have also felt that I have lost people.
Yeah.
And I have somehow come to acceptance that it's inevitable and it's okay. But then it feels like hurt. That why? But then that's also okay.
If it's okay, it's good. Usually my response would be that the why question truly doesn't have an answer. Okay? Because the why question is usually asked from the perspective of individuality. You see? Now, because there is no such individual actually, you see, we can have these pretend answers. Why? You see, why? But actually, there is no. All these answers are only meant to remove the question. But I feel like you have the ears enough to hear this. That why actually doesn't have an answer from a personal perspective. And from the perspective of being, of consciousness, it is just a play. It's entertainment. You see? So the ultimate or only meaning that can be given to why is because it is part of the play. You see? So, but that will appeal only from the perspective of being. You see? So if you were like caught up in your individuality and your best friend is not talking to you, and I was say, oh, it's part of the play, you would feel like very upset with me because like, what do you mean that person was my best friend for 25 years and he's saying it's a play? This is like that. So you have to, that's what I meant by the ears to hear it. You have to be able to step back and see it from a universal perspective and see that there is no true answer to this why. You see? Have you noticed, and I've said this before, the mind loves the question why, but the mind hates the question who. It's just one letter difference. Okay, the why and the who. So I say, you say, why does this happen that I'm losing people? If I were to straight up front say, but who is it happening to? Oh, there's no way to have a conversation with you, man. It's just, it becomes like that. But the why it loves them. It just happens. But what is more fundamental? Why does this happen? Or who is it happening to? Once we identify who it is happening to, then maybe the why can be answered more simply. So just,
So that can happen.
just replace that one alphabet from Y to O. And then you'll see that a lot of clarity comes. And you never know why. Like I said, we'll never know in this realm why something is happening. I don't want to, again, give some answer, but you really don't know. Suppose that some have to leave to make space for those who are more in resonance in the heart. So we can give these lame answers because sometimes the why needs an answer. So we can give some.
Well, I realize that when I am kept back and I become aware of that question, I am not interested in that why. So I don't know.
This is the power of the who question because it takes our perspective away from our limitedness to our unlimitedness. That stepping back is that. From that perspective, all of this is a play of light and sound, time and space. All of this Leela that is playing out in front of me is so beautiful, so divine. You see? All of this is amazing. And what's the mind trying to? Why are these people leaving me? It's taking us away from the beauty of this moment. In this moment, really, all of us are sitting here together in this strange room in Bangalore, on the old airport road with all the traffic and everything. We collect from various parts of the world and we sit here and talk about these things which are out of this realm. We, there's so much wonder and there's so much joy just in each other's presence. There's so much beauty. You hear to the mind will say, oh, but figure out why this one is leaving you. Why does this happen? So this is the play.